In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to light a three-dimensional model in preparation for rendering. We're going to start by identifying the visualization palette, tool palette over here. In the visualization tool palette, we've got a number of tools that will help us to create a 3D rendering of our model. We're going to use the light tool today. When you click on the light tool, you'll note that there are all of these different modes. The first one is a directional light mode, and you'll notice from the description that it's good for simulating light that comes from a source that's located far away. The placement of this light source doesn't matter much in the drawing, only the angle matters, and it does very much mimic the look of the sun. Next button over is the point light source. This light source, as you see from the description, works like a bare light bulb with light radiating in all directions from the location. Next one over is the spotlight mode. This one works like a conventional spotlight, like a Source 4 or a theatrical fixture, that allows change in direction and diffusion. You can also expand the beam angle and a few other things that you might be able to do with theatrical light. For this exercise, we're going to let the scenic elements provide the shape. So I'm going to choose the point light source. I'm going to add a point light here in the center of this platform. When you first place the light, you're greeted by this dialog box that will allow you to make some adjustments if you know them already. But we can always change all of these a little later. So I'm going to accept the defaults and place that light source there. If we move to a front view, that light source is located now on the ground. And you can see even in the OpenGL kind of what happens to the shadows on there. This is a little bit like a campfire or a footlight look. What we want to do is create a natural look as if light is coming from the other room. So I'm going to give it a Z height of 12 feet. Now when I shift back to my top plan view, I can do a couple of things. I can use the tool again to place lights in each of these openings, or I can simply duplicate that light. I'm going to do that and place one of these in each of the openings. So the intent here in creating those light sources is now when we view it from the front, we should have an indication of light as if it were coming through the portals, highlighting the other rooms. My hope is that it will accentuate the details of the walls and help to define the space. Now that we've placed the lighting, we need to know kind of what it looks like. In OpenGL, we get kind of a rough suggestion of what it might look like, but that is not necessarily photorealistic. So I'd like to introduce you now to these different RenderWorks styles. There are a variety of different rendering styles that can mimic things from sketches to hand drawing or photorealistic depictions of it. For our use, because we're trying to create a value sketch, we're going to use this setting that I use a lot, which is Realistic Colors White. I'll click on that, and then we'll let it render. Now that the model is rendered, you can see in this front view each of the light sources that we placed as if they were in wireframe. You'll note that the chandelier object that I chose has some lights built into it, and that's what's creating a little bit of the glow in ambient light inside the room itself. Using the light sources and allowing them to create shadows allows you to light the model as if you were creating a paper white model or a card white model to create renderings from. In the next tutorial, we'll look at how to add perspective to this and to look at a variety of different views so that we can begin to export images of this model that could be used as a presentation model.